The great kings of the past stared down at Simba, Mufasa's brother, his father's best friend, and even his ancestors from long ago. They were all watching. Their eyes held wisdom, sadness, and a deep longing for their lost king. It was one thing to be told you were a great king, but another to feel it in your bones. However, Simba's journey was far from over. Returning to the Pride Lands didn't mean everything was perfect. There were many problems to solve. He missed the feeling of his dad's paw on his shoulder, the sound of his voice, or the smell of his fur. Most of all, he missed his guidance. Who would teach him how to be a great king? How could he fix what Scar had done to his home? And most importantly, could he ever find his place in the Pride Lands again? When Simba arrived back home, the Pride Landers greeted him with joy. They cheered for their young king and could not wait to tell him all about what had happened since he left. Even though the initial reunion was full of happiness, there was something heavy on Simba's heart. Something wasn't right here. Scar had ruled these lands for quite some time, and while he was gone, things had gotten bad. At first, Simba thought this would be easy. He would simply take back his throne, and all would be well. However, he quickly realized that the road ahead would be bumpy. He spent the night sleeping under the stars. The next morning, the sun rose slowly, bathing the savannah in golden light. Simba stretched and yawned. His adventure to get home was over, but his responsibilities were just beginning. Nala nuzzled him gently, her amber eyes shining with affection and understanding. She knew what Simba was thinking because she felt the same way. Together, they would heal the land. Together, they would rise again. His words echoed through the savannah, promising a bright future, but also a lot of work. The task of rebuilding the Pride Lands fell upon Simba. But where to start? The damage done by Scar ran deep. Families were broken, the herds were scattered, and the circle of life was out of balance. The hyenas who once ruled alongside Scar were now banished. And while some of the animals were happy to see the back of those treacherous villains, others felt uncertain about the future. What would this new young king do? Could he really turn things around? Days turned into weeks, and the Pridelanders slowly started to trust Simba. He listened to their worries and offered words of comfort and hope. He reassured the worried mothers, helped the injured animals, and made sure no one went hungry. Every small act of kindness brought a smile to the faces of the Pridelanders and reminded them of what it meant to be part of a community. As Simba worked tirelessly to bring back the balance to the Pride Lands, he noticed something important. This was not just about being king. This was about being a leader, a unifier, and most of all, a beacon of hope. As Simba worked tirelessly to bring back the balance to the Pride Lands, he noticed something important. Being king wasn't just about resting on Pride Rock. It was about understanding the needs of his people. Every decision he made would affect the lives of his subjects. No longer could he think only about himself and his own desires. He had to consider the good of the entire Pride. One evening, while watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple, Simba had a realization. Being a good king wasn't about being the strongest or the bravest. It was about serving his people with a kind and generous heart. He remembered his father's words. Remember, you are my son and the future king of the Pride Lands. You have a responsibility to look after everyone here. These words echoed in his heart, guiding him towards his destiny. But life was not easy in the Pride Lands, and soon Simba faced a challenge that would test his resolve. Scar's loyal hyenas, sensing weakness in the young king, began to stir. They gathered in the shadows, plotting ways to reclaim the territories Scar once ruled. Their leader, the cunning Shenzi, believed that Simba was too soft-hearted to be a good ruler, and so they decided to act. Their plan was simple, yet effective. The hyenas would sneak into the watering hole and scare away the animals. Without water, the Pridelanders would become desperate, making them vulnerable to the hyenas' tricks. The first attack came swiftly. A group of female hyenas led by the sly Banzai crept near the watering hole, hissing and snarling to frighten the unsuspecting animals. The zebras and wildebeests scattered, leaving the watering hole empty. When the other animals heard about this, they became afraid to go there. Soon, The entire Pride Land was in chaos. The lack of water caused the grass to wither and the animals to suffer. Simba, seeing the pain in his people's eyes, felt a surge of anger and determination. He refused to let Skara's legacy of fear and destruction prevail. But what could he do? The hyenas were too strong and too cunning to be defeated in a straightforward battle. Simba knew he needed a different strategy. As the days passed, the situation grew more dire. The hyenas' attacks continued, and the Pridelanders' hope began to dwindle. Yet Simba remained steadfast. He spent hours talking to Rafiki, seeking the wise baboon's advice. Finally, Rafiki shared an old proverb with him. When the prey is low, the hunter becomes the prey. This simple statement gave Simba the clarity he needed. Now knowing the hyena's weakness, Simba devised a plan. He gathered his pride and announced his strategy. They would use the hyena's own greed against them. The plan was risky, but the alternative was unthinkable. Watching his people suffer. The next full moon, under the cover of darkness, Simba led his pride to the abandoned elephant graveyard. There, amidst the crumbling statues, lay a feast fit for a king, laid out as bait. The scent of roasted zebra and wildebeest filled the air, irresistible to any hungry carnivore. Simba and his pride waited patiently, hidden amongst the tall grasses. Soon, the hyenas arrived, their eyes gleaming with hunger. They feasted on the meat, oblivious to the danger lurking nearby. When they were at their most vulnerable, Simba struck. The battle was fierce, but the Pridelanders were stronger, united and hungrier for victory. One by one, the hyenas were driven away, whimpering in defeat. In the end, only Shenzi and her accomplice, the neurotic Road, remained. Cornered and afraid, they begged for mercy. Simba, though angry, knew that true strength lay in forgiveness and moving forward. He banished them from the Pride Lands, warning them never to return. With the hyenas defeated, peace returned to the Pride Lands. The rains came, washing away the dust and bringing new life to the land. The animals returned to the watering hole, no longer afraid. Simba had proven himself not only as a powerful fighter, but also as a compassionate and wise leader. Standing at the edge of Pride Rock, Simba basked in the warmth of the rising sun. His mane glistened like a golden crown, a symbol of his victory and his heritage. Beside him stood Nala, her eyes shining with admiration and love. Together, they had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. As the years passed, Simba's rule became legendary. His compassion, bravery, and fairness were spoken of in hushed tones around campfires. The Pride Lands flourished under his guidance, becoming a place of unity and prosperity. The circle of life continued, stronger and more resilient than ever before. Yet, despite the adulation of his people, Simba remained humble. He never forgot the struggles he faced, the lessons he learned, and the loved ones he lost. For Simba understood that true greatness lay not in the roar of the crowd, but in the quiet strength of his spirit. He was more than just Mufasa's son. He was more than the Lion King. He was Simba, the true king of the Pride Lands.